The office was glowing with Christmas lights, but my heart felt heavier than ever. I never imagined that one small moment under a strand of mistletoe would change how I saw my boss, my job, and even myself. What started as an awkward pause became a lesson about kindness I'll never forget. Sometimes, life surprises you when you're least prepared. And sometimes, the most powerful moments come not from romance or success, but from simple human kindness that cracks open walls we didn't even know we were hiding behind. Before the story begins, take a moment to support the channel. If stories about real emotions, unexpected moments, and the power of kindness speak to you, please subscribe, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. This is MS Tales, and your support helps keep these stories alive. And now, let me take you back to that December evening. I had been working at the company for 3 years, and I was invisible. Not in a dramatic way, but in the quiet, everyday way that slowly wears you down. I was the dependable one. The guy who stayed late. The one who fixed problems without asking for credit. My CEO, Laura Bennett, was admired by everyone. Smart, confident, and always in control. To me, she was polite but distant, like someone living on a higher floor I'd never reach. That year had been hard. My mom was sick, medical bills were piling up, and I was barely keeping my smile together at work. I never talked about it. I believed kindness meant not burdening others with your problems. So I showed up every day, did my job, and kept my pain neatly folded inside. The company holiday party was the last thing I wanted to attend. Crowds, laughter, and cheer felt fake when my world felt fragile. But attendance was strongly encouraged, so I put on a sweater, practiced a smile, and went to the office. Looked magical. Twinkling lights, soft music, and the smell of cinnamon filled the air. For a moment, I forgot my worries. People laughed. Coworkers I barely spoke to hugged like old friends. I stood near the back, holding a cup of punch, watching from the sidelines like always. That's when I saw the mistletoe it hung in the hallway near the conference rooms, probably placed there as a joke. People laughed and avoided it or pulled friends under it for playful kisses. I smiled to myself, amused but distant from it all. Then I turned a corner and almost crashed into Laura. We both stopped at the same time. She laughed softly and apologized, her voice warm. And that's when we realized where we were standing. Right under the mistletoe, there was a pause. An awkward one. I felt my face burn red. I started to step away, mumbling something about needing more punch, but she didn't move. Instead, she looked at me in a way I'd never seen before. Not as a CEO looking at an employee, but as a person looking at another person. She smiled, a small, tired smile, and whispered, "Kiss me." My heart nearly stopped. I froze. 1,000 thoughts raced through my head. This had to be a joke. Or a test. Or I was completely misreading the moment. I nervously laughed and said, "I don't think HR would like that." She chuckled, but her eyes stayed serious. Then she said something that shocked me even more. "Relax," she said gently. "I don't mean like that." She stepped a little closer, lowering her voice so no one else could hear. "I mean," she continued, "give me a moment of kindness. I've had a long year too." I didn't know what to say. No one had ever spoken to me like that at work. No one had ever admitted weakness to me, especially not her. She sighed and leaned against the wall, suddenly looking less like a powerful executive and more like a tired human being. She told me how lonely leadership could be. How everyone expected her to be strong all the time. How kindness often flowed toward her position, not her person. "I see you, she said quietly. "You're always helping others. Always calm. Always kind. But no one ever asks how you are." That broke something in me. For the first time in months, my eyes burned with tears. I told her about my mom. About the bills. About how tired I was of pretending everything was fine. She listened. Really listened. She didn't interrupt. She didn't rush me. She just stood there with me under that silly mistletoe while the party buzzed on around us. Then she did something unexpected. She hugged me. It wasn't romantic. It wasn't awkward. It was warm and grounding and real. In that moment, I felt seen in a way I hadn't felt in years. "Thank you for your kindness," she whispered. "And I'm sorry it took me so long to return it." The next week, things changed. Not in a dramatic, movie-style way. but in small, meaningful ways. My workload became more manageable. I was encouraged to take time off to be with my mom. My efforts were recognized publicly, not just assumed, but the biggest change was inside me. I realized that kindness isn't weakness. It's not silence. It's not suffering alone. Kindness is connection. It's allowing yourself to be human and letting others do the same. Laura changed too. She became more approachable. She listened more. The office felt warmer, not just because of the decorations, but because kindness had become part of the culture. That mistletoe moment became a quiet legend between us. Not something spoken about, but something felt. A reminder that even the smallest pause can become a turning point when kindness leads the way. My mom recovered slowly, and during that time, I learned to accept help without guilt. I learned that kindness multiplies when shared, and every December, when I see mistletoe, I smile. Not because of romance, but because it reminds me that kindness can meet us anywhere. Even in a hallway. Even at work. Even when we least expect it. So if you're watching this and feeling invisible, tired, or alone, remember this: your kindness matters. And you deserve kindness too. Sometimes, all it takes is one moment, one pause, one act of compassion to change everything. Let this story remind you to spread kindness wherever you are. You never know whose life you might touch or how it might change your own.